Yo, what's up, guys?
What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody? What up, guys? Hey, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Michael.
And I'm Paula.
And we are the
Desrochers.
We'll get better at that. So this is actually our official, in my opinion, first episode. We started a episode-ish of just getting used to recording, and it was really rough, but I mean, that's okay. But I wanted to be able to sit down more and be able to discuss some of the things that we wanted to talk about and that I wanted to talk about. And so obviously I feel like first things first. One, I am dealing with a wisdom tooth fun issue, so I apologize ahead of time if I go off screen or come back or anything. Second, just to kind of introduce a little about ourselves, like I said, my name is Michael. I am 28. You don't have to tell how old you are if you don't want to, honey.
And that makes me sound older when you're like, you don't have to tell them.
Come in more.
Because that just makes it sound... I'm 30.
It's just, I don't, I can ask you my wife, but most people are like, you don't ask them their age. So,
yeah, I'm 30.
We have 3 kids.
Mm-hmm. 5. Our oldest is 5, and our middle is 4, and our youngest is just about to turn 2 next month.
And they are Abriella, Jeremiah, and Faye. And they are our world at the moment.
They run our world at the moment. We don't run our world. They run our world.
Yeah. So we're here. The one main thing, that's a little bit about us, our age, whatnot. And with our channel, we want to bring topics up and different things that, things we're going through, things that we're learning, things that we feel like to bring up from the perspective of a husband,
a wife,
a father,
and a mother.
And best friends.
Best friends.
Because as a marriage, you really do have to be friends in a marriage.
And I think we have a good leg to stand on because we've been friends since...
Which you will probably find out some
years?
of those stories the more you guys watch and listen.
I was 17 when I met you.
Yep, I was 16, about to turn 17.
Yep. So it's been a while.
She told me that she would not... I got her number from...
A friend.
My friend, whose sister was friends with her.
You know how they do. They don't ask you
You'll
directly.
find out more about me, so you'll give me a little more leeway, I promise.
They go around the bush.
So that's a little bit of us. And since we want to bring those perspectives, we have had a lot of change in the last year. This is one of my biggest changes. I've partnered with some amazing guys called The Roommates, or The Roommates Podcast. Go check them out. I recommend them very much so. And they really are pushing me to get out of my comfort zone. And on top of that, this just has been a really, really big year of growth. Or last year was a really big year of growth for us. Yeah. Which is causing a lot, growth in ourselves.
It's like a domino effect kind of thing.
And now it's kind of causing a growth in us to actually do things.
Yeah.
So, one of the things we really want to do is, like, to let you guys know that, like, I know my wife's the same way. You're leaning out. It's weird.
Sorry.
One of the things that...
You know where you have tape on a stage? I probably need tape, like...
But we wanted to bring honesty and authenticity and to where you guys feel like you're getting the real us, because we know that from people we've been with, people who've helped us, a life coach even, and different things like that. Like, their transparency and openness is really what's made us open. The Roommates Podcast, same thing. I'm a big Gary Vee fan, and I love how just affluential, is that the right word? Influential. I make up words every once in a while. Affluential, influential he is, and how transparent he is. And he is somebody who, and he even talks about in his videos, he's either super headstrong to some people, or he's super sensitive. And I can see both, and that's why I like him a lot. And I forgot to turn notifications off on my phone, so I really hope this doesn't stop. If it does, I'll probably have a cut, so just let y'all know. To bring things honestly, and to let you guys know where we're at, so for me, this is kind of where I'm at. I'm at the stage of being 28 and have to realize that it's okay not to know exactly what I would like to be doing, like really have it down. I'm working on that. I think this is going to be a big part of that. One, me sharing and really just discovering what I want to do. And then on top of that, I know that we'll probably talk about our goals, some of the things we're striving for. But for you right now, what do you do for it, babe?
I am a teacher. I teach art to high school students, 10th through 12th grade, and I love it. I love it.
So she knows what she wants to do. She's doing
that's
it.
All
One of the things
that's all I've wanted to do since I knew I wanted to be an art teacher. Junior year in high school is when I decided that. And first I was an elementary school teacher. High school. I did too, but I knew, but that was where, like, I think it's because I hated high school that I knew, hey, high schoolers need a good mentor, and I had a good mentor.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to be one for other students. So yeah, I worked towards that, and kind of like how everybody goes through a process. You know, I didn't get my job right away. You know, I had to go obviously to college, and I had to, and I taught elementary for a while, and now I'm finally here. I'm where I want to be, and so, it's exciting.
So you're doing that. The other thing she's doing is she does paint, acrylic and oil paint, and we're really going to work.
Well, not so much oil anymore. It's expensive.
Well, yeah.
Watercolor.
But if we, you know, in time, I believe that's one of our goals is to be able to actually do oil paintings again. Just because it's a different medium, it's something you like to do.
Yeah.
That's one of my goals is to make it to where she can do what she wants to do.
When you have 3 kids, you don't have time to oil paint.
So art, and she also does Young Living, essential oils and stuff, and that's just some of the things that we do that are some of our catalysts to get where we want to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, I have a whiteboard because I will not remember everything and get off track. The other thing is what I do. I work for the city that we live in, and at the water treatment plant, well, the city next to where we live.
Me. Sorry, you're not boring.
It's not late or anything, is it?
No.
But that's where I work. I work overnights from Wednesday night to Sunday morning, and that is where we are. One of the big areas we're at that we want to get out of.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's like today was.
It could be worse.
Today's Sunday that we're recording this, and I get off. I came home. We go to a church here at our house that we are very involved in.
It's not at our house.
No.
It's near our house.
Near our house.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's like down the street.
And I didn't go to sleep yet. I didn't go to sleep till like 11 or 12, and I passed out. And then my wife came to ask me questions, and it just doesn't work out great. And so it's rough.
Our communication is.
It plummets when I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Well,
which
I mean,
anybody's does when your brain says, "I'm not here." You're here, but I'm not. So, some of the things that I want to happen on our channel is I definitely want to try to have some interviews of some people.
Yeah.
Especially people in mind from our Young Living group. And I'm not going to say any names yet. I've already got them in mind. One of them I will say actually because it's going to be over a lot of the topics we bring up. And it's the book I'm using in my men's group. And it's from a book called Man Up. It was a really big influential book for me to get back into reading, actually. I started reading again after I read this book. And yes, it is mainly focused towards men. But the one reason I love having my wife here is to have, like we talked about, a perspective from the opposite, point of view of the sex.
Well, and it's funny because you brought the book up, and I think you kind of started reading that a little after I got into Rachel Hollis's book, and stuff.
That's another big influential
person.
person.
That comes from, female perspective.
Yep.
Of getting through.
So
things.
we shared a little bit about ourselves. I don't want to do it too much of that and be overwhelming. I want to pour into you guys as well.
Yeah.
And so, I just blanked. Oh, so we'll share more and more. Another thing we'll start doing is if you follow us on social media and things like that on Instagram and Facebook, you guys really find out more about us. That's where we'll start putting more personal things out.
And ask questions too. I mean, that'd
definitely.
be great. We want to hear from you guys.
That's one of the big things is I want you guys to comment and whatnot. I'm not gonna immediately go into like, share, and subscribe and all that stuff and comment, but comment in the sense of opinions, things that we can do better, things that we think we did good, or questions you have or anything like that about books we bring up or anything like that. So I want to get into it. So the Man Up, it's called Man Up. The Man Up Project is what it's called, by Scott Schuler. He's one of the guys I would love to interview. He is a beast of a man, like literally. Like he is massive. He's a 6 foot something guy with a beard down to here. And he's
do you have a book?
I actually do. Hold on.
It's his backpack.
It's a vague picture
We need
of
one
them.
of those, like...
I don't know if I can... Yeah, I can. I think I show this. So I recommend this book. I'm going to give him a shout out. It's probably backwards. Man Up Project by Scott Schuler. Like, look at this guy. This guy is a beast. In a good way. He's awesome. But he's a teddy bear. I mean, he loves people. He's just an awesome guy all around. And so he's trying to bring awareness to men about being men, and it's okay to be men. And so the one topic that I read, we've been reading, it's like chapter 6 of the book, so it's like way into it, but is family. And I feel like that's a good topic for us to start on since we are family. And since we're going to look at the book, some of the stuff that I read it last night. I read the whole chapter again, like for the third time last night. And from just your perspective as a husband, what do you look from me as a husband and a father in our marriage?
I guess...
And what did you look for in someone when you were getting married?
I was always looking for
perspective.
somebody who could provide, like somebody who was responsible, can provide. I think because especially growing up in our society, there were a lot of kind of childish mindset.
Or absent dads.
Yeah, absent dads, but also like growing up even as a teenager, like
absent-minded.
Looking even for somebody to like date. Like when
okay.
I was looking for somebody to date, like, I was looking for somebody to potentially spend the rest of my life with, and usually it was like
I was there. I'll be honest. I was that guy for a little while. It took me until my second year of college to really like, oh, I need to grow up a little bit.
So I guess a provider and also like being present. And I think like I was really like when we got married, I think even like my family was shocked at how involved you were, because a lot of men aren't involved
like with their family,
like,
your family.
That and like the wedding, like you were really like you're wanting to be so involved with the wedding and the cake, and you know usually guys are like
keep it coming.
And I think that kind of like freaked some people out because they were like, is he too controlling? Or I'm like, no, he's just really involved, and I actually really like that because it's not on all my shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
And to give perspective in that, I was raised without my dad until I was, from when I was 10 on. He came back into my life about 16 and whatnot, but I don't want to go into that whole story right now. But so that was one of my big things is I wanted. We're on our bed, by the way, so I'm trying to sit up.
We have our niece and nephew
staying over tonight.
Where we usually video, and our nephew is recording, and our nephew is doing homework, and so we were trying to be more private for him, and so we're on our bed, but you know it's okay.
So that was my big thing is as a husband and father, like that was big for me. My dad wasn't there for me, so like I loved kids. We both wanted 5 before we even like talked about being. Liking each other.
Yeah, like on separate, like that was our
she
separate
couldn't stand me for 4 years. That I was like, hey, I want to marry you. I think that's why she ran, and I get that a little bit. But like, and so I knew, like, that's one thing that you always told me is you were attracted at times because like you knew how caring I was towards them. I'm not trying to boast myself up.
No, there were times where you were like. I think most of the time you were like in defense mode with like different things, and that wasn't all your fault. Like it all goes in with how like people treat others and stuff like that. So, but there were times when you were really like honest and open, and you weren't concerned about what other people thought, and that's when I really saw. I felt like I really saw like who you were, and so.
Well, and then, so one big topic in the book that he talks about is, so we have 3 kids. We're trying to
live.
We both have jobs. I work overnights. You work during the days, Monday through Friday. I work basically the week, end of the week, into the weekend. And then we have church on Sunday, which we go. There's sometimes we don't just because of I'm exhausted.
I usually go on Sundays. I think you only miss like one service since you've been
I miss about once a month maybe. It depends on how much I work and stuff. Like I work 4 12s this weekend. So I still went, but I probably should have stayed home and slept. But with all those things that we're doing, and I'm sure a ton of you guys can attest to this, that time management for one, and 2, making sure that you're present. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, and you're actually getting eye contact with your kids. One thing he talks about is like our generation.
Definitely.
I mean, like This is usually where we are. And I'm not like against like using this. Like this has become like the #1 network marketing business tool, calendar keeping, tracker, banks.
It's very beneficial.
Like, there's a ton of stuff that is very helpful.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, we as parents can easily use devices or phones, one, to be too distracted ourselves and not taking time with our kids, I feel like. And one thing that we really are trying to be more aware and manage better is not letting the TV or a device of some kind babysit our kids. Because there are days that we notice, like, hey, we've given them too much, we got to pull it back. Or we're really working on being creative with our kids. That's something I'm having to work on. Like, I love being with my kids, but I sometimes get too work focused and too project focused on I need to get a lot done today. I need to do the dishes. I need to clean. So I do a lot of the cleaning during the week. I can say that. I do. And she'll back me up. I do dishes, clean the house, and I have specific things each day that I do, so I'm not exhausted. It's broken up. But sometimes I get so focused on that, so focused on trying to get videos edited, so focused on I'm actually getting into flipping items. I don't know other words. Gary Vee calls it trash talk. It's funny, go look it up. But to make extra cash to pay some of our debt off and stuff. And so like with all of that, I'm having to remember, like, I have to stop and just give them time. And it's so hard for me because I hate having idle hands, because idle mind and idle hands lead to not good things typically. And so like I constantly am just always doing something. And I also had a lot of anxiety that I didn't realize I had from growing up. Like my speech was way sped up. I wasn't focused on what I was saying. I wasn't able to like concentrate very well, and I couldn't sit still. And a lot of that, I believe, and it wasn't all anxiety. I had a lot of energy too. But I think a lot of it was anxiety in the sense I couldn't sit still because my brain was constantly going. And I think our society doesn't know how to handle kids like that, or that have ideas just going constantly and all this stuff and are creative and just outgoing. And that was me. And so, like, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm learning to balance it if it's okay just not to do anything. Yeah. And I don't have to condemn myself. I would do that very easily. And I know that I know that you really work on, and you've talked about how you're trying to be careful on screen time as well.
Yeah, I think I've gotten better with it lately. But sometimes it's so easy, like he was talking about projects and stuff, like it's easy for me to begin a project, like, or like laundry or something, and before you know it, the kids are on the computer for an hour because you're getting all this stuff done and you're getting accomplished, but then you're like, oh, the kids have been on the couch for an hour playing video games and shoot. So that's kind of like, I need to finish one thing and then, take a break and spend time with them and stuff like that.
One big thing that I know that's helped me and that I know she's trying to get on board with is block calendaring. And that's like saying, like, this time is designated to this period. It doesn't matter if I finish it or not, or if something comes up, I'm focused on this. If something else comes up, I will do it later and schedule it, or just those kind of things like that. Is being intentional. That's one thing I think we were working on a while back.
And you have to be okay, like, because obviously having 3 kids, especially 3 young kids, like, it's not gonna be robotic. Like, it's not gonna happen every day because, what if somebody's sick, or what if somebody throws a fit, or what if somebody doesn't take a nap, or, so things happen. But it does help at least having it written out, so you're not overwhelmed and trying to hold things in your mind like I do. I like this system. I have nothing wrong with this system. I just need
She likes to fly more by the seat of her pants. I like to have things set up exactly how I think they should go.
I like to have things set up. I guess I just don't like being the one to
being
set
bound
it up.
into a exact. Well, no. I don't know, but yeah. So
it's kind of tough.
So another topic I thought was really cool was the book says heroes look for opportunities to be a hero. So I'm definitely a dad who loves to be a hero. I like to be there for my kids. I like to see them happy. When I come home, I love the fact that they run up to me and then, Dad, like, that's the biggest fulfillment I get. Like, and I'm learning to be more not okay with, but take that in more. And really, like, looking for opportunities when your kid asks you something, like, pay attention to what he's asking you, because it could. Now I get sometimes, like, they're constantly like, can I have a snack? Can I have food? Can we go outside? Like, the can we go? And then see, I think what happens for me is that comes up and like, can I play out of it? No, you don't need to do those things. But then, as what happens is, I don't find something for them to do.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah,
I don't engage back with him, or like, hey, can we go outside? One thing I'm working on, I wanted her to do, is that when it gets cold again, I want us to be able to have stuff outside for them here at the house to do, because it is hard to go to a park when it's colder. But and even having the right clothing, you know, just because, like, we'll be honest, like, we don't struggle with clothing, but we didn't really have. We stayed inside more because we had our youngest. She was only a year and a half, maybe a year, and so we were just more.
It's hard.
We didn't want to take her out as much because we were worried and whatnot for some reason. It's a third kid, we just throw him outside. But simple things like them asking how to learn how to ride a bike. Daddy, can you help me with this? Can you, like, being more intentional with that is one thing I've noticed I've had to do more. And then I think one big thing is, so we, another thing about us that goes into why we talk about stuff is we are Christians. We believe in Jesus Christ. I'm just saying that up front. And the reason I bring that up is the idea of love, is to make sure you're pouring love on your kids. One way I know that I pour love on my kids is I tickle the crap out of them. And I wrestle with them, I play with them, and... I
like how you say wrestle.
Wrestle. From Oklahoma. We're from Oklahoma. I said that.
I don't say wrestle.
I am from Oklahoma, and my family is. She's from Oklahoma, but her family's from New York. Let's just put that out there now. So, you got me off track.
I had to.
Dang it, I'm trying to remember.
Love.
Well, yeah, there was love, but there's something else.
Children. I'm sorry.
Dang it. Oh, like we were talking about being present, but about wrestling.
Oh, how you love your children.
How you love your children. So I'll go into what I am, but what are some ways that you intentionally show your kids how to love on them from the perspective of a mother and a wife, in the sense of training your daughter and training your son, your daughters and son?
I think, well, I can tell you what I'm good at, and I'm good at cuddling.
Well, what are some ways, though,
so I try to give them physical touch.
Well, yeah, but what are some ways that you show them, like, in that physical touch and whatnot, how is that showing them what it is to be a wife or a mother, in the sense, or that's from one of the girls, for a boy being raised, of how a woman should treat him.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm asking?
I can tell
you from my way first to make it understand better. So basically, as a father and a husband, as a father especially to my son, with wrestling, you know, with showing, like, it's to show him how much, like, the male body, like, when I wrestle with him, it shows him how me as a male and who he's going to be, and he's going to be larger and, like, hopefully bigger than me. I don't know. Hopefully, no. That a man does hold power and strength, but then also as a man that we're able to harness that, and it's the idea we can harness it and show compassion and love as well, from a father's standpoint of comfort, of care, of security, of safety. But at the same time, we have power as well, and that's that, like, there's a structure to that I'm learning, and that the book, especially, I mentioned, it talks about, and I'm teaching him the way I treat you is teaching him how he should treat a woman. So when I hold your hand, when I open doors for you, when I talk, softly to you, if I make mistake, I apologize to you. Those things. And then for my daughters, I'm teaching them what it is for, like, because they're going to marry someone who is like me. That is a known scientific thing that they've looked into, that, like, we marry, all the time. I think a lot of times we marry people that are similar to what we've seen growing up. That's why patterns, I believe, happen in families. I think a lot of times that doesn't always happen because people want to break that pattern, so they have to restart the pattern. So that's a whole other topic. So for me, to my daughters, it's how I treat them is how I want them to know a man should treat them. Now it's not as, now it's more as of a father, of that loving touch, that security, because it's the same thing as my son. a man, when they get to, like, and yeah, it's crazy that my daughter's only 5, but it's that idea that I want to prepare her now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to wait till later to prepare her.
Right.
So, from your side, though, now, as, you know, a mother and a wife.
Well, I think, like...
And best friends, sorry.
I mean, the thing that is important to me, I guess, first, is the physical touch, because I struggled with that growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what it did to me. Not that, I mean, just being an introvert, like, I was always choosing, like, to be alone and stuff, and I didn't really like to ask for help. So with our oldest, like, she doesn't like to ask for help, and she's like a go-getter, and she likes to do things on her own, and I can see where if I don't teach her to stop and slow down and pour love into her, that's going to affect our relationship.
Go.
Yeah, and she's very task-minded.
Oh, yeah, she is.
And so I'm trying to teach her how to stop and slow down and love, and she'll receive it. It just takes her a second to receive it. Jeremiah, like, soaks it up. He's like, yeah, I'll suck my thumb and I'll hold my hair and I'll lay with you all day long.
And we're working on this and getting the thumb out of the mouth.
Yeah. But, and he needs that. Like, that's something, so with Abriella, it's something that she needs to be taught. With Jeremiah, it's something that he needs. And then with Faye, she's a whole other box.
I love that girl.
She's
a daddy's girl.
Fun. She's a daddy's girl.
And I'm not, like, right now, like, she wants me to put her down, and I'll actually lay with her in her crib.
She likes to play around a lot.
Yeah,
she likes
goofy.
To play.
I don't like saying she's a tomboy, but I like to say that she's a little more rough around the edges than the other two.
But she has
But she's super sweet and super loving. Like,
yeah.
She loves, and, like, she loves her older siblings. She loves mommy and daddy. Like, she loves the lady, our dog.
Yeah. I wouldn't say rough around the edges, because that sounds like
not
jaded
rough around the edges.
More like bold, or
bold.
Like a tough cookie.
Tough cookie,
but in a good way. Like,
I should say
girly.
Tough cookie, because today I told her, I was like, "Are you a tough cookie?" She goes, "Cookie?" I made that mistake.
And then she, like, ran to the door to go to the kitchen.
I was like, "Not right now, not a cookie yet." So that's kind of funny.
It's cute.
So, what are some other things you think, like, as, like, the topic of family, like, what are some more things that you expect? Here, let's just go, like, way into this. What are some things that you, like, either you know I'm working on, or, like, you're believing for our family to have from me?
From you?
Like, as a father and a husband. Or what are some things you're working on?
I know that we're working on quality time, and I think we're achieving a lot of that. And it's kind of hard with having 2 jobs. So sometimes we're really good at it, and sometimes, like, we fall away from it. And so I think quality time is really important. We've been working on, like you said, being intentional. Like, if somebody throws a fit, we don't just get frustrated at them.
Oh, that's another good one. I remember that one. So, like, another thing that I've had to work on is, like, stopping and getting the whole context of the story first. Yeah. Because you'll be in the other room, and then all you hear is screaming. And then one kid, my fit. Like, they don't say what happened, they just say what's hurting. And then, you know... and
you used to be like, what did you do? But now you're like, what happened?
And that's what I'm saying.
Not, like,
so, like, you can run in and be like, what did you do? And I told you not to be able... And just immediately putting punishment to a preconceived
like
fault or assumption that I've already thought, because typically this is how it goes. And so... with that is learning not to assume, but even more as a couple is apologizing when we made mistakes to our own children. Mm-hmm. I feel like we grew up in a generation where the parents, they just were not wrong. It's like...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I want you to go ahead.
Well, like, I've definitely, like, thrown fits with them, and I felt terrible, and afterwards... like, I would apologize to them and say, and, like, teach them, like forgiveness. Like, do you forgive me? And I think that really helps mend our relationship, and trying to keep...
What do you think that's showing them when you apologize to them?
A sense of humility.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, a sense of humility, but still having them understand, like, not handing over my authority or anything like that.
No, I'm not meaning that, but I'm saying when you apologize and you say, you know, I'm sorry.
And being open. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but, so I'll go into it. So when you apologize to your kid and you say, hey, I made a mistake, do you forgive Daddy? I really believe it's showing them that it's okay to make a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
It's not okay to stay in that mistake. It's not okay to not admit that you made the mistake. And it's not saying that you have to be condemned, but it's showing them that it's okay to fall. One big thing that like I pushed off doing these videos because like they're gonna suck, they're gonna mess up. Like right now, it's been going on 30 minutes and it's the same image right now. Well, we don't have the ability to have 2 cameras like some other people have.
Hope the content's good enough.
Hopefully. Hopefully we're goofy enough to watch and laugh at. But so it's teaching them like and I'll probably want to end on this and then kind of wrap it up, but it's teaching them that it's okay to fall so that when they get older and make mistakes, they don't just fall into a pattern of failure. Because that was me. That's all I saw growing up was failure constantly. And, so, like, it's teaching them, like, so, like, this is the best concept. I was talking to a buddy of mine. I have a Marco Polo group of guys that I talk with every day almost, except for when I'm at work. Sometimes it gets scattered. But, I got off subject. When we're children, when we're a baby and we're learning to crawl and we fall over, who's there for us?
Our parents.
Okay? When we're learning from crawling to walking and we're trying to walk and we take those few steps, who's there to help hold our hands or pick us up?
Mom or dad.
Mom or dad's there.
Yeah.
Now, did we fall still?
Yeah.
But there's somebody to help pick us up. This is, I believe, a major concept in the church of, loving your brother and, loving your brother back to health, bringing your brother back in love, raising them up in love, bringing them back to a state of admiration and helping build them up in love. And I feel like two major things that, we forget is like that. Because this goes letting our children know that it's okay to make mistakes. Because if they don't know it's okay, it's not okay to stay in that mistake, but it's okay to fall back. But make sure you go forward after that.
Yeah.
You may take 1 step back, but take 2 steps forward. Is one of the sayings a lot of people hear. Or take 7. It's a good number.
Leap.
But because I felt like for me, when I reached 10, my dad was out of the picture. And before that, he really was there emotionally for me. Like, my dad is a super loving, emotional dad, a father. But he made some stupid decisions that caused him to be physically not present.
Yeah.
Because of that, it caused me not to understand that it was okay to make mistakes and then slowly get better at something. Like baseball. I played baseball for a while and I got better at it, but then it was right before my dad went in. And I couldn't keep up the pace with I was like the smallest guy on the team too. And then the kids that I played with went up to play a higher division the next semester. And even the coach was like, I want to keep them. We're called the Outlaws. Man, I remember that team. It was an awesome team.
I didn't know that.
A lot of great guys. I mean, a lot of really good guys there. They were all older than me, but like I kept my pace with them. But it just started to taper off. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, well, I failed. And I just kind of quit, And then I went to another team. And then that team it was weird. I went to this, I'm not going to get in that story. But to say all that, like, I saw a pattern of failure, but I didn't have my father there to say, hey, it's okay, son. Or, hey, Dad, how do you do this? How do you do that? And so because of that, I create those patterns. That's why, one, I want to be there for my son to show him how to do things, which I love doing. I'm learning how to be softer with him because he's emotional right now.
One. He probably
which
gets
I've
that
heard a
from
lot of,
me.
but still, I've heard a lot of boys are more emotional than girls at sometimes at the ages like between 3 and 6. And I think it's because we try to put on a facade that we're all good and hard and we're like softies on the inside. There's a lot about us. There's more about kind of our topics on family, on what it is like from the husband and from a husband
and a wife,
a father,
and a mother,
and
best friends.
We're gonna go into some things coming up of like financial topics. I'm huge, dude. I love budgeting. I love finance stuff. Like, it's weird. She hates it.
I don't hate it.
Well, you hated it because I would budget every week until I figured out I didn't have to do that.
I don't mind it anymore. Now
we're going to be doing that. I'm going to try to have like 5-minute segments on Thursdays come up for us just to talk about something personal that we want to talk about only. It can be related to what we talked about here or not, kind of with our own personal growth, maybe a topic, maybe something we read out of our books that we've been reading. I've been reading The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and that's what it's called. And then she's been reading...
I haven't read a couple of things.
The two Rachel Hollis
I just got done
books.
with The Subtle Art and the new Rachel Hollis book, Girl Stop Apologizing. I'm about halfway through that.
Yep.
I read the first one.
And I'm not condoning language, but that's what the book is called.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I'm giving it the right quality to the book because it really, like I'm going to tell you right now.
It's a great book.
It's a good book if you can
really
get past the amount of
F-bombs.
F-bombs that are dropped.
But it's very
But it's the
inspirational.
point, he's trying to get a point across.
Yeah.
He's not trying to say, like, because he doesn't just swear through the entire book like a sailor.
It's intentional.
It's intentional.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's okay. It was a big
It's
book for
fine.
me to learn how to grow. And then just give some things about our hopes and accomplishments that we're trying to do that week. And just kind of give encouragements to the people that are watching. So I'm going to end there. Guys, please like, subscribe, comment, share. If you comment, I will message you. Not that I have time on my hands to do that, but I'm committed to creating a community. And then if you guys have questions, if you guys are wondering about any of the people we've talked about, any of the books, any of the videos, we'll let you know. Go check out the Roommate Podcast. It's one of my boys. It is Hafiz and Chris. They have a great podcast. They're kind of similar, just a different point of view. Two single guys, and they are also black, and we are white, and I'm willing to say that. And then we do come from different perspectives,
just
like
cultures and
just
stuff.
like father and mother,
Yeah.
you know, and from the male and the female, we come from different perspectives, different cultures, different backgrounds that we're growing up. So I really recommend them. They're awesome guys, and they're the same way. They'll reach out if you reach to them. So guys, I hope you have an amazing week whenever you watch this. If you're watching it for like weeks and weeks later, let us know. And we hope to talk to you guys again soon. So I'm Michael.
I'm Paula.
And we are the
Desrochers.
Bringing you perspective. So, all right, guys, you have a great week.
Bye.